What's up, guys? We're doing this little intro before the video because it's a little bit of a more hot topic. We're talking about the Ukraine and Russia situation going on. And just before the video starts, I'll let you guys know that everything we're saying is our opinion.
And take everything that we say with a grain of salt because at the end of the day, we're posting on YouTube for entertaining purposes. We're not a news source or reliable news source. So with any take like I said, take anything that we say with a grain of salt and enjoy the video.
Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 23 of the PG Talk. Um, Before we get started, so today's topic, we're going to talk about kind of like war. And if you know, or if you're on any kind of social media, you've seen that Russia is invading the Ukraine. Now, as of today's recording, today is February 28th,
Yes.
the last day of February, and this will come out on March 6th. So we're not going to go too into detail as far as like specifics, and it's not like we know much anyway. We're just kind of seeing what we saw through the news channels. But some of the stuff we say may or may not be outdated by the time the 6th rolls around. So just keep that in mind if we say something and you're like, actually, that's super wrong.
It's like actually this happened because in the span of 7 days in war, literally,
Yeah, anything can happen.
yeah,
dude.
anything can happen.
Also, I'm like coming off from a little cold.
I
My
can
lips
tell.
are super chapped, and I sound kind of nasally.
Yeah, I was
So
when you were sitting over here, I was looking at you and you had like a chapstick on you.
yeah.
And then when you started talking, I was like, oh, he sounds like this.
Actually, I do
Yeah.
kind of sound like that. That's funny. But yeah. So without further ado,
Let's get
go.
into it.
Yes, sir.
Well, obviously, breaking news, like everybody's pretty shocked. Well, I'm assuming some people probably saw it coming. President Biden said he saw it coming.
Yeah. Well, so I think it's because like, do you know why it started, or like a reason for it
So
starting?
from my knowledge, I did a little research before we started recording. From my knowledge is that back back when like couple years ago, Ukraine and is like Ukraine is like the old Russia. So
Well, it's like Russia had control over like Poland, um the Ukraine, and like those countries that are bordering
and they were
Russia.
the Soviet Union.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Putin, he was an agent of the KGB, which is like a Soviet Union like agency they used as like their military and special forces and stuff. So he wants everyone to come back and be part of the Soviet Union, but the Ukraine wants to become part of NATO,
Mm.
you know, and and Russia sees that as like a threat,
Yeah.
or like a big like fu
Mm-hmm.
to them. And even then, to join NATO, all the countries in NATO, which just some of the top ones that come to my head is obviously the United States, which is the biggest financial contributor to NATO. Germany, France, England, all those countries right there. But for a country to join, it has to be a unanimous decision between all the countries.
Oh, so
Yeah,
if one country in NATO disagrees with Ukraine being a part of it, they're not in it.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see how tricky it can get, right?
So has Ukraine been trying to get into NATO for a couple years now?
I think so.
Okay.
Honestly, don't know for how long, but I think they have. And because of that, now Russia's like, yo, like what the hell? Like you weren't supposed to do that. So
Mhm.
now they're trying to invade to bring them back. But there's a whole bunch of like propaganda going around saying like, oh, Russia's actually not invading. They're only helping the Ukraine, this and that. So it's super weird to see the different sides. Like earlier today, actually, I saw a picture, and it was a Facebook post, but it had two Twitter accounts on the photo, right?
Uh-huh.
And one Twitter account had a picture of soldiers like lying on the floor, and it said Russian soldiers captured in the Ukraine, and another person who was like some kind of news, anchor or something,
Took that same photo and put different words into it.
and put Ukrainians captured by Russians. So same
But
photo, but both said the opposite thing. So now
wouldn't
it's
you
like,
be
what's
able to
going
tell
on?
by like the camis that they're wearing?
They're very similar.
Okay.
So unless like and Ukraine wears like a yellow band around their arm on both sides. I don't know if you've seen it. And I think Russia uses red.
Okay.
A red band, but their cameos are very similar.
That puts into perspective how like easily news is skewed in like.
Yeah, dude. And apparently there's footage coming out of like bombings or just stuff exploding, and that isn't even from this year.
Yeah,
It's
I've seen
from
a bunch
riots
of that
back
stuff.
in like 2014.
Yeah, I saw this one video where literally it was a video from GTA, and it was a character.
What?
A character, because in GTA you can go into first person mode.
Yeah.
So like it's like you're just viewing, and there was somebody on an attack helicopter.
Mhm.
Or I think it was like two people on an attack helicopter or players just shooting at houses that don't break in GTA. And it was on TikTok, and they're like, "Oh, like this is Russia invading Ukraine right now." It's like literally, if you can, the news is so like not believable, but people are trying so hard to like make it to where, not saying Russia invading Ukraine isn't bad, because it is.
Yeah.
But like they're making it to where I'm not.
Well, yeah, they're trying to skew for you to believe one thing over another.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's called propaganda.
Propaganda.
Yeah, where it's like Russia's sending out all this misinformation, and you saw what Elon Musk did.
Yeah, he sent out, I think, satellite support.
Yeah, I think Starlink, internet services
to Ukraine,
which nowadays that's huge, because I don't know if you saw the video where and I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the president of Ukraine, he put out a video and it was him, and he was like, "I'm here," and he was going around talking to all his prime ministers, and he's like, whatever, like this person's here, this person's here. He's like, we're all here defending our country. You know why he posted that?
Why?
Because Russia was sending out a bunch of like stories and stuff, and like news articles saying that the president of Ukraine had fled the country,
which is actually the complete opposite. He's literally like, you see him in pictures wearing like
well, the reason they said that is to to make the Ukrainian people feel abandoned. And it's like, what's the point of us fighting if the literal president fled?
Yeah.
So then they got internet services because of propaganda like that and like misinformation, and Elon Musk sent it to them, so now they have the ability to show what's actually going on.
So before they didn't have the access to, like, I wouldn't say internet, but like to send all those videos out without...
I think it was like hacked or taken down by Russian services or something like that. So they couldn't do anything. And then Elon Musk is like, bet, here you go.
He's like, bet, I got you.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Which is crazy because, I mean, Russia's saying all this that their Ukraine's leader fled their country when he's literally like in camis right next to the soldiers helping everybody out. Like, I mean, I think before, when I read on it, Putin said that they were going to take over Ukraine in like 2 days or something like that, or in a couple hours. It's been like almost a week now. Yeah,
and a lot of the reason is I don't know, they're not as well trained, like the Russian soldiers, and they don't have a lot of logistical support. So like their vehicles are running out of fuel, their soldiers are running out of food and water.
So they just have the numbers, but not the training and stuff like that, or like the supplies.
Yeah, so like, I mean, you can have like the greatest military in the world, but if you don't have the logistical support to keep on supplying them with ammunition, fuel, and like everything for them to keep on fighting, then those grunts, those infantry guys, aren't going to do shit, you know? So,
dang. And I've also seen videos on TikTok where there's like fighter jets going to the coast and there's a defense system shooting at them. And this from like years past, or just like a training routine that they're doing. And it's making people think that that's Russian like jets trying to shoot the coast of Ukraine.
Yeah, well, because people say it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you see that one video? I'm going to find out from your perspective to see if this was true or not. But I saw a video on TikTok where Russia was on the coast. Hold up. That doesn't make any sense because Ukraine doesn't really have a coast, does it?
I think they border the Black Sea or some sea.
Okay. Well,
Fuck, I probably got that.
I
Super
think
wrong.
they were on the coast, or they were at the border of Ukraine, and Russia was like, in their ships with a megaphone or whatever speaker they use, talking to them like, "Hey, like we're Russia, we're about to invade, surrender." And the Ukrainians, according to the video, responded back saying, "Hey, fuck you, Russia." Like, okay,
Yeah.
so was that real?
Yeah, it was it's called Snake Island,
Okay,
and it's a little island off of Ukraine, and there was I think 13 Ukrainian soldiers on there, and they were literally like Russia, and they're like go fuck yourself,
yeah,
and then Russia's like bet and literally blew all of them up.
they all died.
Yeah, they all died.
Dang.
No, they're alive. It came out that they're alive. That but they're captured by the Russians, but they're alive.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah.
Dang.
I just read that on the news on the way here.
Oh well, this just in. They're alive apparently, and they're just
War criminals,
POWs, prisoners of war.
prisoners of war.
Yeah. Oh shit. Thanks to the news.
Thank you to the voice in the air.
Yeah, the ghost. Speaking of ghost, you heard about the
ghost of Kavib.
Kyiv, I think is how you
Kyiv?
pronounce it. Yeah.
They apparently, they have like certain confirmed deaths.
Yeah, as of right now, he's got 10 confirmed deaths,
Dang, I've seen
which
a
is
bunch
pretty insane, bro. Like that's no easy task.
with just one fighter jet, right?
You just
him.
that one person. Yeah, I don't know who it is, but like they confirmed the aircraft, and he's got 10 confirmed kills.
Dang, we might be butchering the name, but Kyiv is the capital of Ukraine, right?
Yeah, well, let me look up on how to say it because when I read it in my head, I pronounce it Kyiv.
Okay. Yeah, but so I read a bunch that that fighter jet has a bunch of confirmed kills on other aircrafts, like Russian aircrafts, and I've also seen that his aircraft has been shot down, but he's like boosted out of it and then gotten a new aircraft, and then obviously he needs fuel, so whenever he runs out, he just goes back, refuels, and then goes back into the sky.
Oh shit!
Which is nuts. Dude.
Yeah, because right here it says pronounce Kyiv.
Kyiv?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the capital of Ukraine,
Kyiv.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So, like I said before, I was reading on, and so like Russia, Kyiv used to be like Russia, right?
Well, I think the Ukraine used to be a part of them.
Okay, they just split.
Yeah, it's one of those things that they just split and formed their own country.
Because I think under Bush or Obama, Russia had taken over another country like right next to Ukraine.
I'm not sure, bro.
Like I've seen a bunch of stuff and like a bunch of things about people talking about having Trump back in office because under him this wouldn't have happened.
Well, actually, supposedly, Andy was telling me last night because he came over, and he was telling me that apparently Trump is what led to this happening.
Oh, so
like apparently, what's it called? Like he was going to stop sending weapons or like any kind of support to the Ukraine, and he was doing something to essentially set them up for a really swift attack from Russia.
Oh.
Yeah, and you know how him and Putin always kind of went back and forth of like praising each other over the media?
Yeah.
Supposedly that's what was happening.
So like maybe they had an agreement that Putin was going to just sweep Ukraine.
Yeah, and just kind of take him over like that.
But so I'm trying to understand why we'd send support to Ukraine when they weren't part of NATO. Is it just because like U.S. is just helping Ukraine?
I don't know, bro.
Okay.
I don't know. I honestly don't.
Yeah. All this stuff really confuses me. Like,
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's politics. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it gets super like confusing the higher and higher up you go into politics.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of people saying that because, well, Trump himself said that. So under Bush, Russia had invaded a certain country and taken over it, and under Obama, Russia had taken a certain country and invaded it. Now under Biden, Russia's taken over Ukraine, and then he said that he's the only president in the 21st century that Russia has invaded a country. I'm just like, I mean, statistically, I think it's right, but
I don't know.
the
Yeah.
information that you said, maybe he had something to do with it.
I don't know. Trump is very like what's it called? He hypes himself up way too much for the wrong things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he just have to be like, oh, I'm the only president with great hair. You know, be
Isn't
like,
his hair fake?
I think so, but he'll be like, I'm the only one that left without gray hair. You know, and he'll hype himself up for that weird thing.
Guess,
like,
yeah.
why does that matter?
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Even if it's true, like, just the way Trump is, and honestly, ever since he left presidency, I've known almost nothing about him.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, I'm
I've
pretty
only
sure he's kicked off all like social media stuff.
Well, I think he was banned off of Twitter as soon as he.
Yeah. No, I think it was
office.
not.
Or out of
got
everything.
in.
No, got out of office.
No, he got banned before. Because it was a big thing that the president of the United States was banned from Twitter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So he was still president when he got banned.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's nuts, huh? It's
Imagine the
freaking
president
nuts.
being banned.
Yeah, dude.
From a social media platform. Jeez.
I
But
don't
I
know.
mean, since Ukraine isn't part of NATO, there's obviously bordering countries that border Ukraine that are part of NATO.
Mhm.
What do you think the odds are that this gets really bad and that there's a draft that happens? Or before we get into that, so you have 2 years left in the reserves.
Yeah.
What do you think your chances are that this gets bad and then they end up needing reserves and then you get sent out over there?
I mean, honestly, I think it's like, I don't know, bro, like 50-50. I honestly don't think it would happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dipping into like first it would go into like the reserves, I'm pretty sure, and then start doing the draft. But even then, dude, it's like, it has to be confirmed that there's like a world war, you know?
Yeah.
For a draft to even take place. It's a very last resort type of thing. But
Because it's reserves and then the draft.
yeah, but I honestly don't see it happening. Obviously, like by the time we go into next week, maybe.
Yeah.
But because I know Putin ordered a lot of his generals who were in charge of nuclear like bombs and stuff like that.
To like stay like
they're in like critical combat or like high combat alert or whatever the term is. So they essentially have their fingers like ready to press the button
for like a nuclear war
to launch the nukes. You know. And you know what's crazy is that Indy is one of like the hot targets.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Somewhere on social media, I saw a map of like hot targets, and
Yeah.
Indy's one of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like logistical support that happens here. You know, just kind of like transportation wise.
It makes sense. It's the capital. I feel like most capitals are hot spots.
Yeah, most capitals have a lot of importance to the country.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But
yeah, I was talking to Gabby about the possibility of you being deported over there since you do
he said deported.
I did say deported.
Yeah, bro.
What's the right wording for that?
Deployed. Yeah,
he
said deported
this whole time.
And Gabby's like, yeah,
deported.
Salute.
But we were talking about the possibilities of you being deployed over there.
And Gabby's like, yeah, I need you to get his Mexican ass out of here.
But she brought up the fact of, I remember you telling us that when you were in active duty, you were getting a little extra money because of your lower back. You think that is a possibility of you getting out of it, of not going because you're in a way injured?
No. I think it's specifically because of my rating. You know, I'm not.
What do you mean by rating?
It's you get a rating for your disability.
Oh, okay. So your disability is like a 1 out of 10 in a way.
Well, it's a percentage out of 100.
Okay.
You know, and I'm pretty low on that scale. But I don't think so because I don't think it's severe enough to not be sent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, because even if you're overweight, like they'll take you. You're gonna end up fucking losing it anyway. You know, like if that's the only unless you're like a couple 100 pounds over,
yeah,
then it's an issue. But even then, it's like if you have hearing deficiencies or whatever, I feel like you'd be surprised how many people don't qualify to even be a part of the draft.
Because I think it's 18 to 25, 26, something like that you have to be for a draft. Do you want to look it up real quick?
Yeah.
Or like sure. You can also like look up the possibilities, what the requirements are for you for a draft to happen. Because I mean, it's nuts. The last time a draft happened was what, World War One,
World War II, I think.
World War Two.
Yeah.
Dang,
What is?
bro, we just got over COVID. What's going on?
Hold on.
And I also saw that. So I think if I saw it correctly, and if social media wasn't lying to me, Biden had officially announced that they had cut all economic ties with Russia.
Who?
Biden. He said,
Yeah. A lot of people are. A lot of countries are imposing sanctions on Russia, which is essentially like I'm trying to use a simplified word, but essentially like punishments, like
hey, like you can't use
no,
any
like
of our...
like hey, bro, you gotta take a shot. Just kidding.
It makes sense. I got it.
It's essentially like no more flights are going in and out of Russia. Whatever like they're getting imported, they're not allowed to export. Like no country's taking any exports from Russia if they did at any point,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So they're essentially kind of being shunned and left alone, for good reasons.
Yeah.
But it says, yeah, it says Congress would reinstate the draft, but only in the event of a national emergency. It says currently only men ages 18 to 25 are eligible to be drafted. And that's currently, like they could.
I mean, what's the
obviously
difference
go back
between
and forth.
25 and 26?
Yeah. And I think in Ukraine, I think they said any male age 18 to 60 had to stay to help defend the country.
I mean, they're being invaded. Like,
yeah, it's in their home grounds. It's crazy to see just tanks rolling down.
Yeah.
Just like a residential area, and you just have a tank rolling down.
I saw something. It might have been a Russian tank where they were in Ukraine, and they literally just ran over a pedestrian's car while the pedestrian was in the car.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it was just
yeah, and I think they like purposely out of the way went to run over the pedestrian.
Okay, so I saw a video, and I don't know if it's like 100% like the nationality of this person, or if this even happened soon, like within these past couple days or whatever. But supposedly the video said that it was a Ukrainian guy. He was smoking, and he was actively smoking, but he wasn't holding the cigar. It was just in his mouth while he was smoking, and he was holding a landmine that he found on the street, and like picked it up and was walking it over to the woods to like drop it off somewhere so nobody would run it over. But he was like walking with it, smoking, like
just like, yeah, whatever. It's a landmine.
Yeah. Now I don't know if that's like true or whatever, but it's a video that was out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I mean, there's a really, I don't know his name, but there's a really famous Russian boxer that stayed back and is fighting for his country. Yeah,
well, a lot of the the Ukrainian politicians, like men and women, are staying back, and they have weapons.
Like at that point, it's
I'm not even sure if any of the politicians have left. I'm pretty sure like mayors and like prime ministers and whatever other position in the government they have over there.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure most of them, if not all of them, are staying back to fight.
It's crazy because all those people are staying, but you have to think about all the people that like they want to evacuate and like how fast they can do it. Because I saw a video where Russia, I'm not sure if it was. Every time we say I saw a video, don't take it like 100% true because it might be fake because of social media. But I saw a video where a Russian jet had shot into a Ukrainian airport, like a missile into it, and like it like landed, it blew up and everything. But like it's crazy to think about all those pedestrians and civilians like just wanting to leave.
I'm gonna pull up my Instagram account and just shout out a couple Instagram pages that I follow and I get a lot of my news from. Just because they're pretty legit. So one of them is Northern Provisions is what it's called, and they go through and like they'll report on what's going on, and
these are like credible sources.
Yeah, it's all credible. I'm pretty sure most, if not all of these, are like veterans who are just running these Instagram accounts, and it's all credible, and they'll put up like, oh, CNN said this, but whatever other media said this, and it'd be like, what's the real thing? And obviously they can't disclose where they get the information.
Yeah.
But they always say, oh, sources on the ground. So some way, somehow they got somebody in the action.
Yeah.
That's just reporting back to them. So that's one of them. Hold on, I'm trying to see. Another one that a lot of people follow that I haven't. Damn, I think they got it taken down.
Oh, really? You don't see them anymore?
Nah, but they have a backup account called Northern Provisions .2.
So it's probably factual when their stuff gets taken down and they have a backup account.
Yeah. Another one is called Real News No Bullshit. This one's a little bit more not too military-esque, because Northern Provisions, they do a lot of military reporting, and this one is just kind of like general news all around the world, but right now, obviously, they're covering what's going on in the Ukraine. But those are some top two, and there's a lot of other ones, but you can see it through there. But did you see what Switzerland did también?
No.
So historically, Switzerland has been...
Oh, they're siding with NATO.
Yeah, because historically, Switzerland has been very neutral.
Mm-hmm.
On either end, they're like, look, leave us out of it. We don't want any conflict.
Yeah.
But they literally are imposing the same sanctions on Russia now. They're
so
like,
literally, well, I wouldn't say the whole world, because I saw that like China wants to invade Taiwan or something like that.
Yeah, because I think it's similar situation. I think it's very the same with like what Ukraine is to Russia is what Taiwan was to China. And you saw that for one of the Fast and Furious movies, John Cena called Taiwan a country in an interview with like Jimmy Fallon or something.
I didn't see that.
John Cena said, recognize that Taiwan is a country, right? So then China was like, oh, you said Taiwan was a country? I guess we're not going to show your movie here. And John Cena had to publicly apologize in Mandarin to China.
So they can show his movie?
Yeah, and saying like, oh, like I misspoke, I was tired. All these days of filming has made me tired. I don't know what I was saying.
He just said that so he can get his movie in China.
Well, yeah, because those movies do super well.
Yeah.
They do way better in China than they do in the U.S.
Because, the population of China is just massive. So
yeah, dude.
Like
so
John Cena's probably way more famous in China than he is here in the U.S. Regardless, nobody's ever seen him, but like...
Is he even real, bro?
Is he even real?
Yeah. But yeah, it's just crazy to see how much control these countries have over people.
And at the end of the day, it's just whoever has the biggest stick. Like, I don't want to say none of this really matters because there's literally people putting their lives down. But in the big picture, like, there's what the heck is the point of Russia invading Ukraine besides the fact that he's gonna have a bigger stick? Like, he's gonna have more power. It's just about power.
Yeah, about power and about just wanting control. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's really what it is.
Yeah, but I personally, I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to look back at this and be like, you fucking idiot, it did happen. Well, I don't want it to happen. I don't think anybody wants it. Maybe Putin does, but let me finish my thought and then I'll get into that. So I don't want World War III to happen.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does, bro.
I don't think anybody does. But I saw this thing that I think Ukraine posted on Twitter. It was a picture of Hitler patting down
Putin.
Yeah.
I saw the same thing.
At the end of the day, it's kind of the same thing, right? Like, because Hitler...
Well, I'm pretty sure because there's a lot of Russians that are protesting in Russia.
I saw that. And there's been thousands of them arrested too just because of that.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they're like discriminating against like racially and like religious beliefs. Like almost kind of like what happened with Hitler.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're starting to discriminate like that too in their country.
If my sources are right, Hitler, like before he said like, oh, I'm not going to invade anything. And then obviously you saw what happened, and Putin
Yeah.
said the same thing, and obviously you see what's happening now.
Yeah.
And I've also oh crap, I lost my train of thought. You mentioned that they were going again. Oh, here we go. I got my train of thought back. It just came back onto the rails.
And that's the first time that happened.
Yeah. Holy cow. So you mentioned that there's people protesting. I've also seen videos of Russian soldiers like in captivity from Ukraine saying that like they didn't want this to happen, and they were told that this was just an exercise that they were doing. But when they got there, like they were told that they were going to be hated by the Russian, like the country, if they didn't do this. So
Yeah.
like, in a way, the soldiers are being forced to do all this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you might have your few that actually like believe in whatever, but most armies and shit just act by what the government tells them to do.
Yeah, because
Because Putin's not the one going out.
he's just
you know?
sitting in his fucking chair. Like he's not doing.
Yeah, he's
anything.
just bossing people around. So it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like stuff like that happens all the time. Like soldiers would be in Afghanistan or whatever, and they'd be like, look, like I don't even know why we're here, or in different war situations, but because literally they're part of the military and the government's like, go invade over there.
Yeah.
You literally have to.
And it's crazy to think about because, I mean, those Russian soldiers were literally like lied to, saying that they were going for some sort of practice
Yeah.
that they were doing. And then it turns out like once they're there, it's like, hey, you're there. If you don't do this, the country's going to hate you or something like that. That's what I read.
I wouldn't doubt if that was true, but I also wouldn't doubt it if
it wasn't.
they knew, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that's just what they're saying.
Well, like you said, there's some soldiers that are like mentally fucked and they want to kill people, obviously.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I saw this picture and it was like a meme of this girl laying down in bed crying. And it was like, I'm tired of living through historical events.
I mean, we've had COVID. We have Russia invading Ukraine now.
Yeah, the George Floyd, all the Black Lives Matter protests.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter.
All that stuff. Like, I don't know, like transgender, like all this stuff is coming up.
There's so much shit going on in our lifetime.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that like our parents had it better. I mean, it just depends on the situation.
It's just different situation,
I think it's not necessarily
like somebody always has it worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not necessarily the same hardship, but at the end of the day, like, well, it would be the same hardship. It's just a different situation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, like I stated at the beginning of the episode, whatever we said is stuff that. Okay, we're not a real news source.
No,
all right.
Just watch us and just think about what we're saying and think.
Yeah, if you guys saw the previous episodes, you know that
we fuck around a lot here. This is more of a on the serious side of our podcasts, but don't take to anything what we said to heart, and also don't take anything that we said into actual fact and that it's actually true. Who knows? Maybe everything we just said is completely false.
Yeah, but it's all stuff we've been seeing throughout the media, and just I don't know. Everyone knows bits and pieces of it, but it just, I guess, one thing to leave out to close out is be careful where you get your information from, and kind of look at one thing, look at a contradicting thing, and see what people are saying, because not everything is true out there. Mm-hmm. Especially with all this propaganda going out. You don't think it happens in our lifetime, but like 20, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, you look back and be like, in the history books, they'll be like, oh, all this propaganda was happening.
We're literally
and you lived through
books.
it. So we're literally living through it,
Yeah. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said,
don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you know when we post. And we'll see you guys in the next video. We want peace. Peace.